All right, everybody, meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you with this live update tonight. We're tracking fog. It's been a huge problem across the region. We'll watch temperatures just nosedive as it planted itself in the valley, also in the Jamestown area. And tonight, where's it going to go? We'll look at that. And we're also going to talk about what looks like a pretty impactful weather-making system Thursday, mainly late in the day and into Friday morning as we go through. Hockey tournament, good luck to all our local teams out there, including the Spuds, War Road. Wow, good luck. You're playing now. Let's talk weather, and let's start with a look at a couple of things. Number one, I got a note from you. I'm going to start out with the forecast first. I've gotten some requests from you about get to the forecast first. I don't want to wait. So let's go over that right now. We'll get to those, and then we will follow up with detailed, in-depth analysis of this Friday system, including timing all the way across our region. That's where you can ask your questions. We're going to look at ice, possibly accumulating rain, how much, and snow. That's right. Join me right now as we get started with that forecast first segment, and drop in the comments whether you give the forecast first a thumbs up or if you'd like to see something else, because I always do listen to your feedback. Now, let's take a look at a couple of things. Thing number one we're going to start with is this visible satellite imagery. We've got this stopped at 2 in the afternoon. 55 in Jamestown, 50 for you folks in Valley City, and 45 in Detroit Lakes and Fargo at 47. Just to the north of us, we had teens and 20s. Huge change in temperatures across our region. And check this out. Pierre, 72. Rapid City, 72. All the way to 15 in the Devil's Lake Basin. Now, as we put this puppy into motion, what you're going to see here is the visible satellite imagery, and we're watching this bank of clouds right here. That's the fog. Now, what you see moving this way, that's high-level clouds out there, folks. That's not going to be a problem to your visibility, but it's this lower deck that's moving in from the north. You see it coming in? Look at the temperature in Fargo. Slam! From 50-plus degrees or 50 degrees down to 43. Jamestown all the way from 55 to I can't drive 25. Well, that's cold. That's a noticeable difference in your temperatures across the region. Going in a little bit closer, let's check out Jamestown. And again, those temperatures were ridiculously nice out there today, but just so quickly. In fact, it was 55 degrees at almost 3 o'clock, and then boom, by the time we got to before the close of the 3 o'clock hour, we're in the 30s out there. Unbelievable. Now, check out the difference between North Fargo, where the airport is, and Moorhead's airport. There you go. 47 there, 48 in Moorhead. Hey, we're tanning out here at the Moorhead airport. And this is at 4 o'clock as we enjoyed some 50-degree weather, and then here comes that bank of clouds through Harwood and Argusville, kind of coming up the Red River Valley. Boom! Down to 34 we go, and well, eventually, it did cool out down at the Moorhead Airport, and I didn't get pictures uploaded to hutchesweather.com telling me whether or not people were out sunbathing or not. But I got to tell you what, we do have this weather making its way through. That fog is settling in, and we have fog advisories. We'll go over all that nonsense here in a bit, but let's go ahead and start with a look at our fog forecast then, and we'll get to that right now. So we're going to use a model that shows us visibility. The colors you're looking at here show the visibility. Where we see these bright red colors, that's the lowest visibility across the area. I'll show you what I mean here as we go through. So we have the fog setting up across the I-94 corridor, the Highway 10 corridor in points north, down in the Twin Cities where they're hockeying away. And you can see the blue line all the way from the high seats way out there. Now, as we go through the overnight hours, that fog settles in, temperatures fall, and it actually expands along the I-94 corridor. Fog will be a problem everywhere, but we do have drier air that has moved in and infiltrated the north. So a break from the fog there. Now, this is as we go towards daybreak. This is 5 to 6 a.m. There's going to be some thick fog. Will it burn off? Will we get to those highs that you promised, Hutch? Well, we didn't quite make it today to the 58 that I thought we'd get to because wow, we got cut off quick. Now, check this out. As we go through the midday hour, those south winds come in. We'll still have lingering fog in the Arrowhead of Minnesota, as well as out here across much of central North Dakota. And then, boom, it's gone out here in the valley, warming up nicely. Still some areas of low clouds and fog possible. What are these visibilities that we're talking about first thing in the morning? Check it out. Not very far. A tenth of a mile? I mean, you can see across the street maybe, but there's going to be pockets not your real pockets, but pockets out there of patchy, dense fog. As we go through the evening hours, look what's lining up out to the far west. That's the big weather change. It comes tomorrow night, and we're going to talk about that. Now, let's go to your forecast first, as we talked about for the overnight temperatures. With the fog settling in, most of us will be near 30 on the I-94 corridor, some 20s out there in Dickinson and in the James River Valley. Look at this, single-digit readings in Belcourt, in Valhalla, in Winkler. We're talking temperatures that'll be chilly. Look at this, Babe the Blue Ox, you're basking in some nice 30s out there, but you don't have to go even into the northern part of Beltrami County around the Red Lakes area, where temperatures will be slip-sliding away down into the 20s, and even teens up here as we go toward the northwest angle, and you folks in War Road. But I don't know how many people are left in War Road. Comment, let me know. Are y'all down in the cities right now cheering for the home team? Got to tell you what, that game's going on right now, and good luck to the Warriors out there and all area teams, including the Spuds, who play tomorrow night. We're going to talk about this, folks, because there is some unsettled weather for Friday. What does it mean if you're traveling down to cheer on your home team? We'll get to that. Now, for your afternoon, on your Thursday, check it out. 70s down in South Dakota, 50s along the I-94 corridor, and we're right on this boundary again on the Highway 200 corridor, where we'll see 30s and 40s. Cool 20s, once again, patchy areas of fog kind of pushing up north and off to the east as we go through the day. We could see some patchy fog up on the North Shore out there in places like Cloquet, or Cloquet if it's pronunciated that way. And now let's take a look at what's going on. Fargo, 54, 33 degrees in Grand Forks in the 3 o'clock hour. Looking at the Devil's Lake Basin, temperatures in the 30s. And if you're in Lakes Country, Babe the Blue Ox, well, you tell your friend Paul Bunyan to take the flannel off, or at least unbutton that top button out there. 49 for Brainerd Lakes area as well as Wadena, 55 in the Twin Cities. So you're going to say, how can we get snow? It's just too warm. It ain't going to happen as we go through Thursday night and Friday. Look how close we are to this cold air. We just saw it now. 70s today in Pierre, South Dakota, with teens and single digits up north. Are you kidding me, Smalls? No, I'm not kidding you. That's the way it looks. 7-day planner. Check it out. 54 in Fargo, not nearly as warm up north. We have that boundary right in our area. Our record 67, nowhere near that. But I'll take those low to mid 50s here in the FM area. We start out Friday morning with mixed precipitation chances and 35 degrees with the old proverbial down arrow. That means temperatures will be falling. So right there. There's going to be areas of ice and areas of snow as we go through the late hours and into the overnight. So we've got some raindrops here, some ice late, and then into the morning, some snow showers. Then it's pretty quickly out of our area. In fact, it's out of the Twin Cities by the time we get to the mid-morning hours on your Saturday. 47 degrees, back into the 50s again for Sunday and for Monday, as we enjoy some pretty quiet weather here. But up north, once again, more clouds, skirting systems through central prairie provinces and the southern prairie provinces of Canada, meaning your temperatures will be stuck where they've been, and that's in a rut, but at least it helps to maintain some of the ice you see there. 37 as temperatures fall on Tuesday and beyond from the 10th, 11th, and maybe through the rest of the month. I'm not saying there won't be one day where we get a taste of warm weather, but it will be nothing like this. A much more active pattern, several rounds of mixed precipitation or even snow in our extended forecast as we go through that as well. So that's a look at your 7-day planner. Now let's tear apart this system that's coming on Friday, because really we're starting to see it transition from the long-range global models to the local models. And I'm going to show you the model that I think is doing the best with this system, as it's done the best with some of the others as well. So bear with me while I load this puppy up. And this model here did the best with temperatures today. Okay, as it was locked in, folks, and that's a good sign to be looking for when you're looking for well, temperatures are really going to be critical as to where the rain, sleet, snow, ice line is. That's why I'm paying particular attention. I dug through a lot of models. Here's what I want to share with you. We're going to look through this one. As we go through the day tomorrow, very light winds, quiet conditions. You're going to have the fog. Here's the red line. That's the warm air punching in on these southeast winds. How far north does it go? Look at it. It just hovers right around that Highway 200 corridor. Sneaking up into northern Minnesota, though, all the way up into the, well, how about War Road, Oslo? And if you folks out there in the Boston and areas not far from Fertile, you'll have a chance to warm it up just a little bit. Now, the wind starts picking up. Here's your low pressure center out here. And look at what's coming out of Montana. That's That's right. They've had hot temperatures there, 70s, but we're talking snowflakes developing by Friday morning. So as we go through our forecast period on Friday morning, look what happens. First thing in the morning, showers of rain. Notice how pixelated and blotchy these are? Those could be rumbles of thunder out there. I'll show you the thunder tracker here in a minute. It's amazing. You won't believe that. Now check out the heavy bands of rain setting up here. And I believe it will be on the warm side of the system here in the valley in the eastern Dakotas. Twin Cities, yep, showers and thunderstorms for your Friday morning games. So that means you folks out there heading to whether it's Mariucci or out to the big arena, you're going to have some rain showers passing through the area. Look what's developing out here. How can it be so cold that it snows if they've had temperatures in the 70s? Well, the upper levels of the atmosphere are bringing it in, and at the surface, once we get these north winds ripping, the air temperatures that have been in the single digits up here will not take long to make their way down into places like Dickinson. Yes, the road temperatures will be warmer, but that's dangerous because it falls, it melts, it turns into liquid, and then all of a sudden, hey, Judy, I hope you're doing good in Arkansas. It's wonderful to have you on board. Thanks for watching. If you have a question, we're going to be answering those in a second. When does it change over to snow? Passing showers of rain on Friday as we go through noon. Look at this. A narrow band of light snow will be from the Devil's Lake Basin, northwest Minnesota. This pink stuff, that's not what you want to see. That's freezing rain and some sleet potential with this system. Here we go into the heating time of the day, and this is where we could have some thunder. Whoa! Yeah, that's right. This is convective precipitation in here. You may hear rumbles of thunder, thunder sleet, thunder snow. That means rapid accumulations, and the size, the snowflakes the size of Hutch Johnson's fist. No, they won't hurt or nothing like that. They're just going to be those big old wet, soggy type of flakes, and they'll come down with a vengeance. So, snow showers begin. Bismarck, Kidder County, and I'm not kidding, all the way into the doorstep there for Cleveland, Medina, on up into New Rockford, and all the way through the Nelson County area in towards Emerado. Oh, I wish this weather would come to its senses. Check it out. Ice right through the FM area. Lakes Country, a possibility. Here's more showers and thunderstorms during the dinner hour, moving out of Sioux Falls. Folks, we could see some severe potential or at least some hail from these storms in the far south as they move through. Why? The timing is perfect. The heating of the day. It's in the warm sector. Here we have a warm front. Could there be some spin? Yes, if there's a warm front in the area, that means those surface winds are coming at us from the east or northeast, while the upper level winds are coming from the complete opposite direction, causing the air to roll in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. You get a thunderstorm popping up through that, and yeah, we could get some spin. So, better chance of that way down south, Iowa and points south of there yet. But are you kidding me? This is a fairly decent band of snow moving through. This is, well, that's Friday as we go through our Friday evening, and boom, shaka and boom laka as we go into the, well, morning hours by Saturday. It's on its way out very quickly. Gusty north winds will seem to cool us off, but a nice rebound will take place with westerly winds behind the system. Ooh, that's a lot to go over, but I ain't done yet. Nope. Wait, there's more. I mentioned this lightning tracker. Let me pull this up. Now, while my eyeballs are wandering, I'll just let you know that what we're looking at here is a high-resolution model that's going to look for the potential for lightning flashes created by updrafts in the atmosphere. And we also need the atmosphere to be at colder temperatures aloft for lightning to happen. So here it goes as we go through Thursday night, 10 o'clock. Boom, Mobridge, South Dakota, and places north of here, blasting through, oh, how about Hazleton, Moffett, Braddock, and right on up into western Stutzman County. So we could get a couple of rumbles of thunder on your Thursday evening, and then we'll continue this model through as we go through the nighttime hours. Look what goes on behind me here in Iowa, okay? We're lighting it up in Iowa as we go through even the late night hours, and then that pushes up again, redeveloping in Sioux Falls as we go into the Friday afternoon time frame with more showers and rumbles of thunder there, with a possibility of a couple on the Friday afternoon side with that heavier band of precipitation in there, causing that possibility for some thunder snow or thunder sleet. Get rid of Z-time, Kevin, thank you very much for that. These places where I'm pulling up these graphics ad lib in real time here, I can't change that. So I'm sorry about that, and I'm trying to elaborate what that is. I'm working on a solution for that, but for now, I cannot do this particular model that I wanted to show you and the Lightning product without showing it on this particular thing. So thank you for your comments. Hutch is working on it, but it could take a bit of time. I appreciate appreciate you very much for watching there. Now let's go ahead and move right along. So we've got this big wild event. Now let's talk about what's going on right now. And to do that, one of the tools that you can use is Hutch's weather app, because we have dense fog advisories out there. Did your phone notify you of an advisory? Let's go ahead and take a look at the weather app right now as we put this up on the screen. And as we see, Hutch is live, it says right there at the top. That's pretty good information. You can watch no matter where you are, as long as you have a cell phone signal, you're getting Hutch on there. And I heard from someone today that said, Hutch, during the Enderlin tornado, we really appreciated your coverage. We were watching you until the cell tower went down. Not much you can do about that, as it turns out. And if you lose electricity, it's hard to watch television as well. So keep in mind, weather can get pretty nasty around here, and having a really good weather app is handy. Now, if you go back to the home screen here on Hutch's weather app, you're going to get road reports. So anybody traveling to and from the Twin Cities, please keep this in mind. If you are in the Twin Cities, go local teams. We're cheering you on. War Road, we're cheering you on, Spuds. We want all of you to have a fun time out there and safe travels. Friday will be the trickiest travel for your particular area in the Twin Cities. So if you're thinking of traveling home on Friday, check Hutch's weather app and head over to the road report here. And we have all states, all provinces right here tied up for you. You can select whether it's Manitoba, North Dakota, Minnesota. You can look at the DOT cameras. You can look at the plow cameras, now available in North Dakota as well. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you while we're here is a look at the watches, warnings, and advisories. So it's kind of fun to do a weather update right here with the phone, showing you how to do it. You can take your big old thumb here and you push on that thing that says weather alerts, like that. And as you do that, you're going to see these maps come up with all of this. Wow, it's all gray. Hutch, what's that mean? You can zoom in, zoom out, look around. Okay, if you want to know your county, this gray is if I click on the area I'm concerned about, and I happen to pick Grandin, hey, it says there's a dense fog advisory. You click on that dense fog advisory, you can read the text directly from the National Weather Service telling you there's a dense fog advisory for visibility a quarter mile or less at times, and it's until 10 a.m. on Thursday in the Grandin area. And you can peruse this map if you happen to be out in the Twin Cities. No dense fog advisory for you, but you don't have to get outside of town long. You go over by the what do you call the strip mall out there, Albertville and St. Michael, and we're talking about the dense fog advisory in place out in that neck of the woods as well. Useful tools. Let me know in the comments here what you like about it. It says, for your information, 494 between Bloomington and MSP will be closed this weekend. What? That's something else that's important with those DOT maps. You can look at the closures on the roads. Thank you, BA, for letting me know. Thank you, Cassidy, for saying the web app is awesome. Now we're going to get to some questions right here. So the app does have some really cool things and features about it, and we talked about the potential for severe weather, and it's that time of the year again. So I'm going to dance right back over here, and we're going to look at some severe weather stuff on this. Now, as we take a look at what's going on, as we put this back on the now temperatures, bear with me while I get this all loaded. First of all, we're going to look at the latest conditions on the old radar out here. And what you're noticing here is we do have some unsettled weather with some hail making its way along the Arkansas, Judy, border with those folks down there in the fine state of Missouri. Now, let's see. How come this is taking so long to load up here? Let me try one more time. Oh, it's still thinking, oh, we got a severe thunderstorm warning on that area right there at Mountain Home. So we got us a thunderstorm warning making its way right just south of the Gainesville area, heading towards Bakersfield. This isn't too far from that fun to travel area up there in parts of southern Missouri. So that's what's going on there. I don't know why my radar is not showing up at this particular time. So I'm going to pop temperatures on here. And you can see the big difference in temperatures and the temperature change today. So we had temperatures of 50 degrees. Here's the cold air burping its way back in. It did warm up in northern Minnesota today by several degrees, and right now we're about 10, 12 degrees warmer than we were yesterday at this time up in places north of Bemidji, Walker, and all the way up toward the Red Lakes area. We're 5 to 10 degrees warmer. Colder is the weather now compared to yesterday at this time out in western parts of North Dakota. Now let's see if it will open up the radar for me here so I can take a better look at what's going on. And it's still thinking. I might have some kind of a data issue here on this particular scene. So What I wanted to show you anyways was the fact that as we take a look at the Storm Prediction Center's outlook, tonight's severe weather risk is all the way from Dallas into southern parts of Illinois, where you see the yellow. That's a slight risk, and that means a few areas along that path could see severe thunderstorms. Not particularly widespread as we go through the area there. Now, as we take a look at, that's tonight. Day 2 would be tomorrow, and tomorrow we refire up the chances out to the west on a boundary with drier air rolling out of the Rocky Mountains and the humid air in East Texas. We're going to see storms firing up in this area, and yes, indeed, we could have all modes of severe weather possible in this particular area. So a slight risk west of Oklahoma City, out towards Amarillo, Lubbock, and on down in towards Wichita, Kansas. As this storm takes shape as we go through Thursday night and into your day on Friday, check this out. This is a look at the day 3 view, and it sneaks all the way up into parts of Minnesota. So not only will we see the chance for some thunder, and you see this light green area, that's garden variety, non-severe thunderstorms expected in that area, anywhere from Pierre right to areas south of Fargo, Minneapolis, and on up toward Duluth. So we could hear rumbles of thunder in this, according to the Storm Prediction Center, a enhanced risk of severe weather from Kansas City straight up north, not far from our neighbors up there in Kirksville, Missouri, all the way to St. Joe's. And Des Moines, you're in the yellow area. That's a slight risk of severe weather in your neck of the woods. So the storm system that will be digging through and bringing us a mixed bag of wintry, I don't want to say goodness, but we can sure use the moisture, is on its way. Now, your questions, thanks so very, very much to all of you on my YouTube channel who have hit the subscribe button. Do so now. If you're watching and you like the content, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell to be notified of when I'm going live. I'd love to have you. Almost 11,000 folks have done the subscription on the YouTube channel, and I thank you very much. So let's see. Carrie says, thanks for the quick snapshot, my friend. I dig the forecast first. Thank you very much, Kari. I appreciate that. Deb, good to have you on board watching from Fargo, Moorhead. And Kari says, great 7-day snapshot. Thank you. Dig all the weather knowledge. Sometimes reading is hard for me. Okay, and the quick cast is perfect for the beginning of the show. I'm glad you're giving me this feedback because it does help me. And for those of you who want to go a little bit deeper and ask questions, I'll save time for that later. Good evening, everyone. Heartland Weather says hi, and I say hi to you. Thank you for watching. Psalm says, watching from Grand Forks. Good to have you on board. Always enjoy the music references. You know, this area up here looks blackened. This area does not. It's full of living color. That's not necessarily good when we're talking severe weather season. Thanks, Kari. FJ says, how much snow for next Tuesday? We never got to the snowfall forecast or the ice forecast yet. Thank you for asking. I don't know why I forgot about it, but you need to know this. As we go through Thursday night into Friday morning, so basically Friday by mid-morning, this is what could be on the ground. Now, there could be isolated areas that have some accumulation or accretion of ice on roads, sidewalks. Your deck is going to be slippery. Notice northwest Minnesota right through southeast and south central North Dakota will have a chance. In fact, anywhere inside here could get a light coating of ice to be covered up with snow. There could be a couple of pockets where we get those convective type showers with thunder, sleet that really cause it to build up quickly. My concern is that we're also going to get areas of rain, and cold air is going to make it turn to snow. Now, this is from the model that I showed you, having a wide band out west. I think it's going to be shifting just a bit to the east here, closer to Jamestown and Fargo as it works its way through. But the idea here is even if it shifts a little to the left, a little to the right, 1 to 2 inches is likely. That's what Hutch's numbers here mean. 1 to 2 inches are likely. Some could see 2 to 3 plus inches. In pockets, you'll get a little bit more. I do think Lake of the Woods area is going to have a decent chance for some snowflakes, as will the Red River Valley, and isolated pockets picking up upwards of 5 inches. Now, the precipitation, when we melt it all into rain, look at this. Well over 1/2 of an inch of a measurable moisture now, that's whether it's snow or sleet, that we melt down. And isolated pockets where you see the dark pink, the model is picking up over 1 inch, and that does include the Twin Cities out there. Now, you get these wet roads and the cold air with temperatures falling into your Friday afternoon and night. We could have some area roads that have been warm the last few days that get mighty cold out there and freeze up. So let's keep that in mind as well. All right, let's see. The full moon is wreaking havoc or something on my computer. It could be. I've had problems. I've been riding my computer pretty hard today. I need to give it a dinner break here. Nasty F5. I love the storms. T-storms are very interesting. I just don't like them when they go through populated areas, obviously, but sometimes it's kind of nice to sit back and watch the power of Mother Nature and try to do your best to forecast it. I've enjoyed doing that my whole career. Truth Love 607. I moved to North Dakota in 22, and you guided me through my first winter and summer. Thought I had to only worry about winter here. It was sad when I left TV, but happy that you found me, and I'm very happy you found me as well. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your kudos, and thank you for watching. It does help. And now let's see, how can the fog predict to go away? Well, when we get some south winds and the sun comes out, as soon as our temperature starts rising above the dew point, that's a clue for meteorologists, we can start seeing the fog evaporate from the ground up usually. So the ground heats up first. As that happens, the clouds start warming up just a bit. The fog on the ground starts warming up and it evaporates a little bit. Hey, everybody, on my Facebook page, I got to thank all of you who have hit the follow button there. 80,000 people are following Hutch. And if you have not done so, I'd ask you to click the follow button right up next to my name at the top of this post that you're watching now. BA, thank you so much for your support. Kim, thank you for your support. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And in fact, if you like the content on the videos here, hit the like button. I would appreciate that. It does help it get out to more people. Stacy says, what's your thoughts for us in the Badger area? Good to see you again, Hutch. Stacy, good to see you. Thank you very much. I do think there's a chance. Let me get to... I waited until after the models came out, the newest models that have weather balloon data in it. So I'm going to just go ahead and take a look at this right now. We're going to pull up a model here, and this particular model, I'm going to switch it over to the one I like. So give me 1 minute here, because I do think there's a shift to the right of what I just showed you from this model. So I'm not trying to confuse you, but I just think that the onset of this storm is going to be a little bit off to the east, but it is starting to dial in on something. So you can kind of see here, we have rain here, mix, and then look at that, snow, Bismarck to Jamestown, all the way up to Grand Forks, and then it does slide through, but kind of falls apart as it moves through Fargo. But if you're talking about Badger up here, yes, northwest parts of Minnesota, including the northwest angle, Baudette, all the way down into Thief River Falls and Red Lake Falls, stand a chance to see some ice, followed up by some snow as well, and that snow looks to be pretty persistent in northeast South Dakota into west central parts of Minnesota briefly as it works its way through. This particular model will give us an idea of what the snowfall total will be, but remember, it's going to be a heavy wet snow to start out, so these ratios could be very important in this. A wide area of 1 to 3 inches is what this is showing, so I'm not changing that part of the forecast. Pockets up to 5 inches possible, and parts of central, north, and South Dakota, moving up into the northwest quadrant of Minnesota. So if you happen to be in Warren, Argyle, you folks in Alvarado, and on up in towards the eastern reaches of Roseau County, having a decent chance of seeing some decent measurable snow. Looks like there's a little gap in the system right over here, though. We start to see that it ramps up, and those counties would include 1 to 3 inches of snow. And as we take a closer look, I'm getting right down in it. That's Fergus Falls right there. So there could be a narrow, heavier band in parts of Lakes Country, and this is by Saturday, but I want to show you when the accumulation really stops. So look at that. There's one band that comes through, and then there's a second wave that comes through. This high resolution model is picking up that goes into the Saturday morning time frame. Not certain that that second wave will come through, but I do trust this model a little better than the other ones that we've been looking at tonight. So again, there will be a chance for some ice laid down before the snow, and then we're going to get a wave of snow making its way through, and possibly a secondary wave of snow as we go into the wee hours of your Saturday morning. But it will be out of here by Saturday, and then the warm-up is set to begin. If you have 6 inches of fresh snow on the ground, you're going to be on the cool side for your Saturday morning. But if you happen to have a little bit of snow on the ground, it probably will not take long to see a nice little recovery of your temperatures. So that is the absolute latest data. I will update my forecast graphic. I will post that. Thank you so very, very much. And a couple of other questions. Nathan, hi, good to have you on board. Kevin, get rid of Z-Time. We talked about that. Terry, cancer does indeed suck. And, for anybody that's gone through that or have someone that you know, and most of us do, that have struggled with that or suffered with that, it's terrible. And prayers and thoughts go out to you and your loved ones. Thank you, Cassidy, for the comments on the app. Thank you very much. Ismail, is it heavy snow or is it showers? It will be very heavy precipitation, rain, mix, and then snow, very close to that boundary where we have those convective clouds. And that does look like it'll move through this area here. So there'll be some brief heavy snow, and then it'll taper off pretty quickly as it moves off to the east. But because it could be so heavy, we could get some reasonable accumulations in isolated places. One thing I want to make clear is when you look at a map like this, it looks like everybody's getting a bunch of snow. That's not the case. Very isolated places that are under the convective type precipitation will get that heavier snow. So I hope that answers your question, Ismail. BA, road construction is causing that road closure down there in southern Minnesota. Thank you so very much. And again, if you missed it, 494 between Bloomington and Minneapolis will be closed this weekend. And that is the South Loop there, right? So, but it's mainly from Bloomington on up to Minneapolis that'll be closed because of construction. Hopefully your road app will have that on there for you. Thanks, Marlene, very much appreciative of you watching. Mira, thank you very much. Oh my goodness, what happened to the 50s weather? Well, we get one more day where there's a nice chance of it on your Thursday, but by Thursday night and into Friday, everything changes. Some biscuits and gravy. Okay, a little bit of biscuits and gravy sounds good to me. Hutch is hungry. How does Sunday look? Sunday looks marvelous. So we'll go right back to Hutch's 7-day planner because that's one thing we had first up in the forecast here. Look at this. Friday, big hiccup Friday. Depending on how much snow you get will depend on your rebound in temperatures. I'm not counting on a bunch of snow for the Fargo-Moorhead area, but we are in that 1 to 2 inch category out there. Thanks for loving and putting the hearts on there on my Facebook live feed right now. Thank you very much. The rebound will begin on Saturday, and it will begin in the Red River Valley and western Minnesota and Lakes Country. I think will be pretty nice. If you happen to be in one of these communities that gets 3 or maybe 4 inches of snow, it will be significantly cooler in the morning, but we're on a trend towards warming it up, and we'll be melting a lot of that snow on Sunday. Fargo will be 56 degrees, and I think we'll see a nice rebound in temperatures in many locations all the way into Monday. Then it looks like a much colder and long stretch of cold weather returning to the region with frequent waves of storms. I'll go over that tomorrow in my update that I have for you there. I figured it's best to get through this Rubik's Cube first as we are studying the atmosphere. And you know what this storm system lays down will really dictate these numbers on the backside here, as you can understand. Deborah, thank you for your question. I hope I did a good job of answering it. Matthew, 1998. Hi, Hutch. You're mentioning a shift to the right. What would cause the track of the storm to shift to the right or to the east? Well, these are computer forecast models, and as we get a little bit closer to the event, we went from the long-range models, which have a lower resolution. They aren't as good at picking up the fine details of all the temperatures that are involved on a smaller grid space, if that makes sense. So maybe think of these European and American models having data points about every 60 miles or 24 miles. And then when we get to the higher resolution models, which is what we were just showing you, those have grid spacings of down as low as 3 kilometers. We don't have data every 3 kilometers to put into the model, but at least it tries to calculate that coming out. So there's a lot of errors that can be introduced into forecast models when we're looking at things like this. So I hope that helps. answer your question. FJ, how much does fresh snow reduce temperatures? If we cover the ground with more than, say, 3 inches of snow over a wide area, the sunlight that you gets reflected right away by that white surface. So it really impacts temperatures. Not only that, the sunlight warms the bare ground, the brown earth, the dirt that we have out there. If it's white and it reflects, any energy that does get absorbed by the snowflakes on the ground is expended in melting those snowflakes and ripening them, we call them, or warming them up. So that really can impact temperatures. And one forecasting rule of thumb that I learned a long time ago is if more than 50% of the area is covered by 3 or 4 inches of snow, you're gonna have a real hard time getting above 50 degrees. And that's panned out most times, but when you get out in western North Dakota and eastern Montana where you have those Chinook winds, that can blow that rule of thumb out of the water. Breaks it like a thumb. So, hope that answers your question. Thank you so much. Logan, good to have you on from Fargo. How does Sunday look? I think we answered that here. Looking pretty good. You should let me know, though, Marlene, where it is you're looking for, because we've had very cold weather here in the Northern Valley and Southern Valley over the last couple days. There's been a huge difference in temperatures. Here's today's highs, as a matter of fact, and we only got up into the 20s up along Highway 5 and points north. This is the freezing line. We were below freezing in Maddock here. It's 27 for the high temperature today, but you cross that county line into Stutzman County, those temperatures were soaring into the 50s. And look at this, New Rockford to Carrington here, a big difference, 30s to 40s. So the rainbow of colors tells you what you need to know. This isn't Hutch's Skittles cast, but sure looks like it, doesn't it? Skittles. All right, as we take a look, ooh, we got 50s here. So big time temperature differences where we've had cooler weather and the low clouds and the fog, that has been aided in its development by some of the snow and wet soils that we have up north. That helps to keep the surface temperatures cooler. We evaporate a little bit of that snow into the air and boom, shadizzle, we have some fog. Thank you for your questions. Brad says, 30 degrees and very foggy. Can barely see the house at the end of the street. Brad, thank you very, very much. That's a good point. As we take a look at the evening digits here, I'm going to load up the radar right now and we'll take a look at the visibility across our region. So here we go. Pulling up the details of what you're seeing out there right now. Probably won't go all of the DOT cameras, but I do want to let you know that they are available for you on my weather app anytime, anywhere. So here we go. Let's go ahead and put the winter mosaic color of the radar on so we can see where it's depicting rain, sleet, snow, thunderstorms rolling their way into parts of Arkansas, all the way through Joplin, Missouri, and all the way out towards St. Louis. Now we do have some showers of rain in the high country of Montana, north of the capital city, Helena. And we do see up here as we go up towards what looks like just east of Medicine Hat here and south of Regina, mixed precipitation moving into the oil patch tonight. Not all of that's likely reaching the ground. Now, when we factor in these visibilities you're talking about, I'll show you what we're seeing as far as those data readings go right now with regard to visibility. Let's see if I can pull those up. And I may have to switch this over to site radar data. Here we go. Okay, so now in Fargo, we've got visibility here. It says 1 mile, 2 miles out at the airport in Moorhead. Jamestown, your visibility is, it says 5 miles, but that airport's out of town. So if you're in Jamestown, poor visibility. And I believe, are you in Cullum out there? I don't have a good reading from the Cullum area right now for visibility. So that's why your input is a beautiful thing to have. But as we go down here to Highway 13, look at this. 1/4 of a mile visibility is measured out there in the Gwinner area. So anybody heading out to Bobcat, 1/4 mile visibility, Wahpeton, Breckenridge, 1/4 mile visibility, Fergus Falls, 1/4 mile visibility, Elbow Lake, all the way down to the Twin Cities. So the visibility is 10 miles. So it's good there. But Hubbard County and Park Rapids, a 1/4 mile visibility. So that fog is really set up shop in the southern Red River Valley right now. If you're in Boston, you got 3/4 of a mile visibility and 1.5 miles of visibility in Thief River Falls right now. And when we turn on the watches, warnings, and advisories for our area, you can see that we are in, and you've probably seen this information, so I don't always go over this right away, but we are in a dense fog advisory on the entirety of the I-94 corridor from Stark County and Dickinson through Bismarck, Jamestown, Valley City, Fargo, straight down toward the Twin Cities. So most of I-94, you could run into that pesky fog. Likewise, dense fog advisory all the way up near the Canadian border, but not into it. So we got Walsh County, we got Marshall County, Minnesota, Grand Forks and Polk County straight up to the North Shore. And look at this, it's a good old-fashioned winter weather advisory out here on the North Shore. As we take a look at the text for that, that's in effect for the next 14 hours. And that is for very slippery sidewalks and roads because of all of the fog causing slippery conditions. A winter weather advisory with freezing drizzle and some ice accumulation up to 0.05 of an inch possible. This timing of this says when until noon on Thursday. So overnight tonight, there's some freezing drizzle along the North Shore in the Duluth-Cloquet area, also Superior on down in towards the Hawthorne area of northwest Wisconsin. Fog also in and around the Apostle Islands here with 3/4 of a mile visibility there as we look in Bayfield, and then a 1/4 mile visibility down in Ashland. That's a look at your weather. I hope that takes care of all of your questions. I do appreciate each and every one of you joining me. Once again, much like today, the warmth will be along I-94 and points south. We'll see a rapid drop in temperatures as we go to the north for your day tomorrow. Thank you so very, very much for all of your input. Thanks for watching. Heidi says, just drove from Bloomington to Bemidji, fog and spitting the entire way. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk again very soon. And basically, we got to talk about a little bit of music here that isn't my cell phone ringing. Here you go.
This has been a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Wait, you forgot the new app. You're right, I did. Don't forget to download our new app. Oh, now let's rock. Thanks for watching.